Right now, the world is moving its next great factory to this country. Phones, furniture, sneakers, solar panels, all increasingly stamped made in Vietnam. But at the very same moment, something strange is happening. The Vietnamese are having fewer and fewer children. And in the richest, most industrial city of all, they've nearly stopped. This is the story of a country racing to get rich against a clock it didn't know was ticking. Because Vietnam is about to face a problem that took the wealthy world 100 years to reach. And it's arriving here in a fraction of the time. First, the good news. And it is genuinely good. Over the past 3 decades, Vietnam transformed itself into one of the world's busiest workshops. In 2025, foreign companies poured in nearly $28 billion of actual investment, the most in 5 years. Factories account for more than half of it. The economy is booming. In the first half of 2025, it grew by 7.5%, the fastest in over a decade. As tensions push global supply chains out of China, Vietnam has become the favorite alternative. The world, it seems, is betting on Vietnam. And for ordinary Vietnamese, life has gotten better. This matters. Between 2011 and 2019, the average worker's income grew more than 8% a year. Tens of millions climbed out of poverty. This is not a story of people standing still. But here's the catch. Vietnam mostly assembles. The patents, the designs, the brands, they're owned abroad. The country spends just 0.4% of its economy on research and development. Wealthy nations spend 5 to 10 times more. Vietnam is climbing fast, but the ceiling above it is low. Now, the twist. To have a stable population, a country needs about 2.1 children per woman. In 2024, Vietnam's number fell to 1.91, the lowest in its recorded history, the 3rd year in a row below the line. But the national average hides the real story. Look closer, and a pattern appears, one that should worry Vietnam deeply. The richer and more industrial a place is, the fewer children are born there. Consider Ho Chi Minh City, the engine of the economy. Income per person. There is roughly double the national average. And its birth rate? 1.39, among the lowest in the world. Now, compare the poor mountain province of Ha Giang, 2.69. Within the same country, as wallets grow thicker, cradles grow emptier. The reasons are familiar to anyone who's watched a city grow. Soaring housing costs, the price of raising and schooling a child, long hours, marriages delayed, then delayed again. The government points to all of these. Ho Chi Minh City today is a preview of Vietnam tomorrow. And this is where the clock comes in. There's a measure of how fast a society ages. The years it takes for the share of people over 65 to climb from 7% to 14%. France took 115 years. Sweden, 85. Vietnam will do it in about 17. Almost no nation has ever aged this fast. But speed isn't even the cruelest part. It's the timing. The wealthy nations got rich first and grew old afterward. Vietnam is growing old first, while it's still poor. Look at the numbers side by side. When South Korea began to age, its people earned around $36,000 a year. Vietnam, today, roughly $4,700. The high income threshold sits near 14,000. Vietnam is only a third of the way there. It is growing old at a fraction of the income that made its neighbors comfortable. Now, you might look this up and see a bigger number, $18,000. That's the PPP figure, adjusted for Vietnam's lower prices. It tells you what your money buys at home. But the line between poor and rich nations is measured the plain way, by exchange rates. And by that measure, the one that counts, Vietnam still has a long climb. The point is simple. The cheaper a country, the bigger that gap. And the gap itself is a sign of how far there still is to go. Here's the trap in one sentence. Vietnam's working-age population will peak around 2039 and then shrink. That leaves a window, barely 15 years, to grow rich before the workforce starts to fade. And more than 60% of workers have no pension to retire on. The factory is full today. The question is, who staffs it in 25 years? So, this is Vietnam's race. A country booming on the outside, aging on the inside, getting old before it gets rich, and faster than anyone in history. The government is now urging people to marry younger and have more children. But as Japan and Korea have learned, that is a very hard tide to turn. The world bet its factories on Vietnam. Vietnam is betting against the clock.